Tafsik is a Canadian Jewish civil rights group, and they have a legal injunction to attempt to stop this today, but time is running out. Amir Epstein is the CEO of Tafsik, and he joins us now on Toronto Today. It's nice to have you on.
Thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm okay, but I assume, you woke up today and there's no right side of the bed. This is not something you want to see happen. Lay out where this stands right now with a legal injunction to try and stop it.
Yeah, so we put this force to the court to stop this. The way it's being portrayed, it's like this organization is trying to stop the people from, raising their flag. But what people don't really understand is this is not a, flag raising like you would see from a regular country, a real country like, whatever, Nigeria or Angola or whatever, right? China, well, maybe China's not a good example, but you know what I mean? These countries would raise their flags. This is not a flag raising that's being done by the Palestinian General Delegation to Canada, which exists here in Ottawa. They have an actual, as close to a consulate as you get for a place that isn't yet a country. And so this is being brought by an organization called ICJP, but the endorsees that are actually supporting this flag raising, like the groups that are a part of this, include groups like the Palestinian Youth Movement, who literally celebrating, October 7th attack with their, with Palestinian flags hanging. They've really kind of like what we've seen really around the world for the past 2 years more than ever is this use of a flag that was created, by the way, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, Yasser Arafat, which we all know are a terrorist organization. That's what the flag was actually created for. And it's being used to, at every opportunity to intimidate and cause trouble in the streets of Toronto and Canada. The examples I'll give you, like I said, the Palestinian Youth Movement, waving around these flags while screaming and celebrating October 7th. Another endorsee is Toronto for Palestine, who would wave these flags in Thornhill, Ontario, which is really the most predominant Jewish neighborhood probably in Canada, one of the most predominantly Jewish neighborhoods in the world. And while they're waving the flag, screaming, "Go back to Europe, go back to Europe. We can come to your neighborhoods and do whatever we want." We saw the guy in Washington wearing the flag when he, shot and killed 2 delegates. This keeps happening. So they've kind of in Sydney when they wave the flag and yell gas to Jews. So these organizations that are the ones raising the flag, it's like, what is it really doing? What is the purpose of it? Well, we know because actually one of the lawyers for ICJP said that this is, the reason, this is before, of course, we sent the injunction. It was easier for him to speak freely. Said that the raising of the flag is a form of resistance and, showing solidarity from the city of Toronto. But Toronto is a city that's supposed to be neutral to foreign, to foreign conflict. So this is nothing more than yet another step further to intimidating and causing irreparable harm, which has been caused already throughout the years.
Amir, is the door open simply because Mark Carney recognized the state of Palestine in September? I don't think the city has any legal means to fly a flag of a non-nation until, is the door open because of Carney's declaration?
Yeah, look, at first he said, we will recognize a Palestinian state if these, few conditions are met, which of course is
Hamas surrenders, all the hostages back, have an election, we'll spot the election, and those seem like as far as I can tell, none of those conditions have been met. Not even all the hostages are back, and the ceasefire, the agreement 5 weeks ago has already been violated numerous times.
Correct. So the fact that he had conditions, first of all, we had an issue to why would you ever award a terrorist organization with a state after what happened? But okay, let's suspend our imagination and pretend that it's a normal thing to do and morally correct. Here are the conditions. And then kind of going, who cares? We're just going to recognize the Palestinian state. So in our argument, of course, that second that attempt to recognize the Palestinian state is null and void because the conditions were never met in the first place.
What do you expect the atmosphere to be like? I can't imagine this flag gets raised and there isn't consternation and some back and forth. We've obviously seen groups clash before. What's your expectation for 10 o'clock today at City Hall? Look,
we're not fans of protests, counter-protests, doing all these things. It's happened, of course, in the past. But, I mean, the number of phone calls we fielded over the weekend, we're not like we'll come out, you know, we'll counter-protest. Like, don't go out there. I mean, first of all, these protests have they've cost our city tens of millions of dollars. Police standing around making sure that people are, you know, should be allowed to yell at one another. It's just a giant waste of money. You know, stay home. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Move on. It's not the end of the world. Let's just figure this out, because really the biggest problem is that these organizations that are endorsing this flag raising are just, once again, you know, furthering inch by inch this, you know, this normalization of violence and hate, which is the most un-Canadian thing I can recall since forever.
We'll be watching, Amir, to see what transpires. Thanks for your input on this today.
Thanks, bud. We'll talk soon.
Amir Epstein joining us, CEO of Tafsik. Thanks for listening to the Toronto Today podcast.